Have you heard of the little blue devil? I mean, have you heard of Feel Free? Hi, I'm Lauren, filmmaker extraordinaire, and today we're talking about Botanic Tonic's Little Blue Devil, the Feel Free beverage. I wanted to make this video because I've been seeing some TikToks about it, and there's a couple articles about it over the years, but not too much out there. I don't know about you, but I am so fed up with products that are marketed as good for you, or at least not bad for you, when they are in truth allegedly just as dangerous or dangerous in some capacity themselves. First things first, what is Feel Free? Feel Free is a product by Botanic Tonics. I think they should have gone for Botanics, but again, I don't work for them. What do they know? What do I know? And it's marketed as an alcohol alternative beverage that is kind of good for you, feeling good, feeling free, feeling less stressed, etc. Kind of a wellness element. And I would say that the beverage, the bottle looks nice. It's aesthetically pleasing. I'd say it's a trendy looking thing to be drinking. And it has two main beverages in this Feel Free line. We have the classic, which is kava root, leaf kratom, and it's caffeine free. And then we have the kava mate, which is kava root, yerba mate, and has natural caffeine. So the big one that's the issue is the classic. You might think, oh, but Lauren, it doesn't have caffeine in it, so shouldn't that one be the better one for you? That's where you're wrong. And that's because it has kratom in it. Kratom is a plant that is native to Southeast Asia, and it's really not regulated in the US at this time, and with how things are going, I'm not sure when it would be regulated, meaning that people can buy it in highly concentrated quantities and just quantities of it in general. Kratom is known to help soothe anxiety, ease feelings of pain, stress. It can give feelings of energy, happiness. Sound is good, right? But it also has been linked to addiction, seizures, and in some cases even death with improper use or just a bad reaction. You do have to be 21 or older to buy from the website. It used to actually be 18 or older, but there was a lawsuit a few years ago and there's been some media attention, so they did raise the age to 21 plus. And it's just like those most sites where you just ask if you're 21 or older and then you have to say yes or no. It doesn't ask to verify anything. And though that might sound like a bad thing, I personally am against tracking people on the internet. So I understand that they can't really do more than that, but at least they're, saying, are you old enough? And potentially if you have kind of a child browser settings, maybe that's kind of set up to be then blocked in that case. I don't know. I don't have a child. I haven't set up child browser settings, but that's really all they can do online. If you buy it in person, you do need to, I believe, have a form of ID to purchase, but you can just buy it at your gas station, random stores. It's sold kind of anywhere. It's not somewhere you have to go somewhere special to buy or any kind of dealers or anything. You can buy it, probably at 7-Eleven or wherever. To Botanic Tonic's credit, at the very, very bottom of the website, really you have to scroll all the way down, especially on the product pages, what I think is crazy to scroll all the way down, even on the product page itself versus the home page. There is a disclaimer talking about dosage, whether you're taking a beverage or a capsule, and potential medical interactions you could face to avoid on alcohol. So that is something, and the site does say that it could be habit forming and do not exceed 2 servings, 1 bottle or 6 capsules in a 24-hour period.
For the Classic Tonics product page itself, they do have a bit of a disclaimer, but you have to actually pop that open to see how to use. And it's basically the very last sentence that says do not exceed more than 1 bottle in a 24-hour period, which is, I just think, kind of buried in the marketing.
I personally think that's bad product disclaiming and marketing, but they technically do have a disclaimer on every web page of the site. So I don't want to pretend that they have no disclaimers, because they definitely do. But when they say it can be habit forming, I would take that to mean that it can make people addicted. And there are people who have reported becoming addicted to this product. And, maybe you could say it's allegedly because of this product, but they're giving specific examples of Feel Free itself. And it's not just one person. multiple people, many people are reporting feeling addicted to these products. It's really scary and really also very sad because it's marketed as an alcohol alternative. So maybe someone's been struggling with alcohol use and they're trying to find a better alternative for them to help them become sober or wean down on alcohol, whatever. They start going to feel free and then they're not addicted to alcohol. Now they're addicted to this because of the Kratom, which is just really, it's really sad because someone's trying to make an effort to improve their lives and they're preyed on in a vulnerable place. And while I was doing some research for this video, I was reading a Punch Drink article, and I would like to read an excerpt from that because I thought it was just like kind of, whoa, like this is an addiction. Feel Free had a hold on me that I had never before experienced, says Roberts. I couldn't live without it. 1 turned into 3, 3 turned into 5, 5 turned into 10. I would drink as many as I could, spending whatever money I had. A year after trying his first bottle of Feel Free, he said he had maxed out 4 credit cards and sold most of his belongings to support the habit. At the height of his Feel Free use, he said he was drinking as many as 20 bottles per day, spending roughly $700 per week. Toward the end of his spiral, he lived out of his car next to a 7-Eleven in West LA, where he bought bottles of Feel Free with cash made from delivering food on DoorDash. I don't really think I really need to add much more to that train of thought. It's devastatingly sad, and there are thousands of people experiencing these effects. Aside from the addicted and habit-forming nature of Feel Free, other users have reported side effects including weight loss, lack of interest in food, nausea, a decrease in libido, back pain. I would say, maybe the kind of list maybe you're used to seeing with a medication where it's like 1,004 things that could possibly go wrong with you. You take something. So I'm not necessarily saying that Feel Free and Kratom are the sole causes of all these other things, because I know as someone who's on a variety of medications that things sometimes just interact weirdly with each other, or something you weren't expecting to happen, or you're just one of those rare cases who gets the weird side effect. I just really think that Botanic Tonics should be marketing this as much more potentially dangerous than I think they kind of let it seem like it is. People like Roberts and many others are at the point where they're going to actual rehabilitation centers to help them quit, because just like any addiction, there are withdrawals and trials to quitting. It's not like these people are just like, I'm done spending the money. No. Per CBS News, some people have even compared quitting Feel Free as to withdrawing from opioids in terms of withdrawal suffering. From what I was snooping on Reddit, it seems like it's really bad for the first couple days especially, but that it can take months for you to feel kind of normal again, physically and mentally, let alone emotionally. So it's a whole mess. And it's not just a couple people that are feeling this way. There is a Reddit group called specifically r/quitting Feel Free, which has almost 5,000 members as of yesterday when I checked. And then there's a subreddit called r/quitting Kratom, which is less specific to Feel Free, but just Kratom in general, that plant. And that has over 51,000 members as of yesterday. And I would say that although it was kind of hard to look through because there's some really sad messages, there was also some nice inspiring ones about not giving up, progress being made. So I would encourage, if you or a loved one is having trouble with Kratom or Feel Free specifically, to check out those subreddits for a support group, a way to kind of move forward and find community, because although I have not had an addiction in that capacity, I know when I was in eating disorder recovery, it made a huge difference to be in a support group for that. And it can just really make a difference to know, I think, that you're not alone in this, especially if you might be feeling ashamed if you've got addicted to, a beverage that's supposed to be a healthy alternative, and you should not be feeling ashamed. One, because you were doing something that you thought was going to be, the right choice for you with the information you had at the time. And even if for some reason you knew everything, you should not be ashamed to ever get help or that something's happened to you, because that's just how life is. You're going to make mistakes, and that's literally what it means to be human, to be alive. And what matters is not what you've done necessarily to get to where you are, but how you get up and move forwards and make attempts to do better in the future. And you should never be ashamed for trying and asking for help. That's pretty much it. Shorter video than usual maybe, but I just felt really compelled to make a statement about this, because although the company has, raised the age limit to buy it, and they are, they now have a version of the beverage without Kratom, I just still think that the marketing's not good for what people are claiming it to be and how allegedly dangerous and addictive the drink has turned out to be. If you like this shorter, more educational, serious video, let me know by giving a thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts. Have you heard of this drink? Have you not? Whatever. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me about a variety of topics, because that's what I do. And I will see you next time. Bye.